Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I'm having a well-earned rest now. It's almost 2 o'clock now and I have been in my garden this morning, or just my front garden. I've cut the grass in the front garden and the hedge because they were getting a little bit overgrown. A little bit milder weather we've had seems to make them grow like something not right. So we're only supposed to be having some, it's quite nice, it's quite warm today actually. I was out in my garden, I even took my cardigan off because it was quite warm. But we're only having these nice days like this for a few days and then it's supposed to be going to go back to freezing. So I thought we'll have to take the opportunity when we have some good weather, because my hedge was really grown. It was starting to get a bit raggy and the lawn needed cutting. The borders do need digging over as well because there's a lot of weeds and they're in a bit of a state, but I can only do so much. A couple of hours in the garden, that was all I spend, and I'll do a little bit every day. Go in my back garden tomorrow because I have a very large lawn in the back garden and a small lawn and a very long hedge. But I don't think I'll get all of that done because it's only a small hedge in my front garden and a small lawn. So I'll probably maybe cut the grass tomorrow and hope the weather keeps up. Maybe Sunday I'll do the hedge. I think the weather's going to start to change about the middle of the week. Oh, and I've got all this stuff tied in a knot with the end of the... I always leave a long end like this for sewing up when I do my knitting. I think I'll have to curl it up and tie it up to the end because it's very fine, this wool, and it keeps ravelling up with the wool when I'm knitting. And but anyway, that's my little bit for today in the garden. As much as it's the first time this year, and it's always the hardest the first time you go in the garden doing these things, because with me, I mean, I'm just sitting in the house all winter and until the nicer weather comes back. So I'm not used to doing things in the garden like what I'm doing. But I'm doing my knitting now, and I might even go out and sit in the front garden and do it. Put my chair in the front garden because the sun shines into the front from early afternoon all afternoon, and it's quite hot in the front when the sun shines on the front of the house all the time. But anyway, I am using my new phone again to record these because I'm getting much better quality videos. And I just got a package this morning from eBay, and I bought myself a new case for my phone because I'll show you my old one. Well, it wouldn't fit on this one anyway, it's a different phone, but this is the state this one was in. You can see it's all thingy down the middle there and there on the back, and the stuff's just all come off. But you know, I could not get another case. I mean, this phone's about 5 years old, I think. That's about 2017, this one. It's another Samsung. And I couldn't get another case for it. I tried. I'm even looking on the internet. I couldn't get one on the internet unless it was black. And I didn't want a black one. I wanted a lighter coloured one. And I tried everywhere, even the local shops around where I live, and all I had was black. They don't want black. So I've just stuck with this raggy old thing. But it didn't make any difference because it wouldn't have fitted the new phone. My new phone's a different one altogether. But I did, a little while ago, I did order one off the internet, this one here. And I made a mistake when I ordered it. And I pressed the wrong model thing for it. So It came for a Samsung A9 2018. That's what it is. This one. That was the model it was for. And I didn't realise it didn't cost very much. I'm not sure how much I paid for it. It was about £3.99 or something like that. It wasn't very much, but I liked it because it had the you know, the flowers on the. It was like a nice pinky colour, and it's like sparkly. The back is like sparkly with a bit of the pink flower and the pink flower. And I liked the things inside, the little things for putting the stuff in. It even had a clear part there because you could put something where you wanted to show something through it, like your driving license or something like that. That's why I used to keep an old one I had. That's why I used to keep my driving license in there. But I keep my AA card for my car and that in. That'll go into my new one. So I got this one, and I thought, well, it was a good size. My phone actually fits into it, my new one. But this is no good for the back. The camera is different on, you see on this one. This is what the camera thing's like on that one. This one's a square. So it was no good for my camera, and I'm not sure. I think the things on the side here were okay for it. But I'm not sure about the things on the bottom. But anyway, I'd be willing to give this away free for anybody that wants it. It's like I said, it's a Samsung A9 2018. If anybody has a phone that this will fit and would like it, just send me your name and address and I'll post it off to you. It only cost me about £1 postage. I could have sent it back to Amy, but I didn't think it was going to bother for the price that I paid for it. I thought, oh, I'll hang on to it. Maybe if I get another phone, it might fit in. And it did fit apart from the camera on the back. So I have this one. It's got butterflies up here. I like the pattern on it. That's why I got it. Like the butterflies there, and they're like flowers. I think it's like a flower thing going up here. Same on the back. It has two little pockets inside here for putting things in, which I'll keep my card in, probably my driving license, because that's where I keep things like that. It's got a little pocket like that as well, and to put something in. Quite handy. It's quite stiff because it's new. Anyway, that's for my new phone. And I'm just sitting, relaxing, doing a little bit knitting, and the gentleman who gave me a little bit Happy Meal in my PayPal put a little video up on YouTube, and he just called it Thank You Sheila. And Derek, he was a young man called Derek, and he put this little video up just to thank me for, well, more or less giving him a shout out on my video and telling him what about the wool from Mariners and everything. And he just put this little video up to thank me. But I don't know if you realise it, Derek, but you have the comments turned off, because I wanted to put a like on, but I couldn't put a comment on because you had the comments turned off. And I wanted to put a comment on, you know, on your thing. So I don't know whether you realise the comments were turned off or whether you've turned them off yourself. But if you haven't turned them off yourself, you need to alter the settings on your YouTube so that we can put a comment on your video if we want to. There's one or two other people do that. They don't realise that the settings on the YouTube have, I think, automatically have the comments turned off, and you have to turn them on yourself. Anyway, that was just a little bit for today to keep my videos going. I was at my granddaughter's yesterday, and as usual, I got dragged into Thomas the Tank Engine with little Eddie. He's got a thing about the Thomas the Tank Engine. He has a track lead all over the floor. you've got to be careful where you're stepping when you go in the room. You don't know whether you're going to step on, break this or break that, and as soon as he sees me come in, it's, oh, I get dragged over to help him with his Thomas the Tank Engine. Well, he wasn't too bad, and I just sat down and I did a little bit in there, knitting, and the other two boys, he's not so bad once the other two boys come in from school, because he has his brother to play with when they come in from school, because he's at nursery in the morning. And I still wasn't feeling all that good really like yesterday, but when I came home I just made myself a drink and that, and I went to bed, because my head was sort of stuffy and that, and I couldn't, it still is like, but my nose has started to run. I noticed when I was doing things in the garden, if I was bending over, nose was just running like a tap. So at least when that happens, you know it's going to start clearing, it's getting rid of all the gunk out of your nostrils and everything, like, because my nose has been really bunged up, and I think that makes your head, when your nose is like that, I think that makes your head all sort of stuffy and that, like. But anyway, it's been a lot better today, and a couple of days my voice will be back to normal on my videos, because the cold will be leaving me by then, with a bit of luck. And I'll be out in the morning doing a bit more in my garden before I do my knitting, and I've got a good way with Daggery's top, because I don't really like knitting just plain, because you never sort of notice how far you're knitting. When you're doing the pattern, you're doing so many rows, and you can see how it's grown because of those number of rows. You're seeing them, like, say, like 4 rows of pattern. Then if you look, you're doing 4 rows of pattern, then you're doing 8 rows of pattern, and so on. But when you're just knitting plain, it just never seems to move. And it is a lot finer, this wool, than what it is double knitting, but it's a lot finer than most double knitting, and it's very, I can tell just, you know, when I hold my hand, I'm holding it up to the light, I can see my hand through the knitting, but the stitches aren't that big, it's just the wool is that fine. So anyway, that's my little bit for today. So give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time and let you know what else I've been getting up to. So bye for now.